Okay, folks. Can you believe this is the 15th one of these? I'm pretty sure this is the 15th one. There is so many Koroks, so much footage to go through. We're almost done though. There's 19 of these, and this is the 15th, so we're almost done. And speaking of almost done, so today I'm gonna continue going over my school material, and would you believe I only have 3 PowerPoint presentations left for the class. My final exam is in 15 days, so 2 weeks, and I only have 3 slideshows left to go. Can you believe I basically went over my entire school material on the channel? It's kind of funny. I mean, I know nobody likes it. I'll be honest, I don't like it, you know? Nobody wants to hear me go over school material and fail at reading, basic reading, when I actually go through them. But, you know, it gives me an excuse to actually go through my school material, because let's face it, I'm never going to go through it on my own. And I got nothing else to talk about, really. So, it's a good excuse for me to read it out loud and prove that I really am going through over my school material, because, like, you heard me last time, I just babbled on about nonsense and just whatever came to mind. Oh, just a quick little update. So, I did get my hands on the Rosalina McDonald's toy, and it does look ugly. The quality is terrible. I'm not gonna lie, after I got the Rosalina one, I kind of got a dupe, hoping to get something else. So I got 2 Rosalinas. I was kind of hoping to maybe try my luck and get, like, the Luma one, or at least the Mario one, but I just got another Rosalina, and then I got Toad. So yeah, no, I'm content. I got the Rosalina toy from McDonald's, and I'm happy. In fact, I got 2. Okay, so before we get started on the school material, you know, the thing I know everybody loves, let me tell you a quick story about something that happened last night, or rather, in the middle of the night. Funny story. I don't know what time it was. I didn't check the time. I'm just gonna say middle of the night, maybe like 4 a.m. Rough estimate. I woke up due to this, I don't want to say pain, but due to this uncomfortable feeling in my butt. I'm not joking. I woke up in the middle of the night due to this uncomfortable feeling in my ass. It was that kind of feeling where it's like, do I need to go take a dump? Not really. Like, I don't want to wake up maybe like 4 in the morning to go take a dump. I was able to feel, this is gonna be TMI. I was able to feel it was one of those like rock solid logs that kind of implied I didn't drink enough water. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have been I have been slacking on drinking this past little. I don't want to say past little while, but like couple days. It really is important to drink water, y'all. Staying hydrated is more important than you'd think. It actually makes a huge difference in terms of the way things come out. Okay, so let's get started. Man, what a bizarre night. I've never had, well, yeah, I've never woken up to a pain in my ass before. I've woken up to like stomach pains, but I've never woken up from the pain up my arse. You know, that's a new one. Okay, so this one has 41 slides. I should be able to get through it today, right now. Okay, so let's see. This one is plumbing inspection, fixtures and faucets, introduction. Alright, fixture characteristics. Smooth, non-porous, corrosion resistant, durable, and easy to clean. Hot water faucet on the left and cold water on the right. Don't operate valves which are not used on a regular basis. Bracket, such as main water into the house. They can leak. General introduction to fixtures and inspection procedures. Why did I take this class? Alright, hot/cold convention. So it's just a diagram of a sink. You got hot, cold, basin, hot. lever to the left, cold, lever to the right, kitchen sink, single lever faucet. Oh boy, there is a lot to read, and this is only the 5th slide. Introduction. Testing procedure. I'm going to make this a little bigger for myself. There we go. A little easier to read when the text isn't that as small. By the way, funny story. Another funny story. I had a gay couple as clientele today. I had 2 customers who were, I assume, a gay couple, because one of them said the other guy was quote unquote my partner, like his partner. I say funny story because one of the guys was white, the other guy was Asian, and the Asian guy looked about like 10 to 20 years younger than the other guy. Now, he didn't look as young as someone like me, you know, but he still looked much younger. It's like, damn, either there is a sizable age difference, or Asians just age relatively well. I don't know specifically what Asian he was, but that's just besides the point. I just thought it was interesting that they looked so different in age. Anyways, so, testing procedure. Fully open cold and hot water faucets individually. Observe hot water temperatures. Observe pressure differences between hot and cold. Run multiple fixtures simultaneously and observe pressure distance. Operate fixtures to fill basins and tubs to check for proper fixture drainage and listen for venting problems. Check under fixtures for leaks at waste piping, traps, and the fixtures. By the way, I think I mentioned this at some point. I handed in an assignment like 4 days late. Oops. At this point, I don't really care. You know, I'm like 2 weeks away from finishing the course. I don't really care. I bet you I'm probably like 2 assignments late right now. I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying attention to school anymore ever since the midterm. Before the midterm, I would, you know, I would stress and, well, quote-unquote stress, and I would do the assignments and hand them in on time. I say stress when, in reality, at most it takes me like half an hour to get them done. You know, it's not a big assignment, but like, after the midterm, I just don't really care anymore. After the midterm, I'll get the assignments done at some point. The last assignment I handed in was like 4 days late, and it only took me like 20 minutes to do. And supposedly the rubric says, you know, it's like a 5% deduction from the final grade, final mark, per day of late. So I should have gotten like 20% taken off. 20% of the final mark. I checked my grade for that assignment. I got a 7.5 out of 10. So I don't know, did I get 100? And then it was deducted? I'll be honest, if that's the case, I kind of don't care. A 7.5, hey, that's a pass in my books, I'll take it. Okay, so anyways. Alright, inspection procedure for typical bathroom inspection. For complete lists of the procedure, study section 1. Thanks. Check previous straining or patched areas in other rooms after running the plumbing. Testing functional flow and functional drainage. This is a big paragraph. Well, not paragraph, but this... Yeah, there's a lot to read here. We recommend that you do your visual inspection of bathtubs, shower stalls, and their enclosures before doing your functional flow and drainage test. You're going to want to be in the tub and shower enclosures, checking the walls, floors, and ceilings. This is much more pleasant if the tub and shower closure are still dry. Yeah. Even when you get back into your own shower or bathtub and it's still wet, it's still nasty. And we're talking your own. Testing plumbing fixtures. This is a big paragraph here. We've talked a little about this, but let's walk through it again. The first step is to look around and below each plumbing fixture before you operate. You may decide not to test the fixture. If the ceiling below a plumbing fixture is soaking wet before you test the strain, you might anticipate doing some more damage and, perhaps, bringing down the ceiling when you operate it. If you simply see straining, which is quite common, you may want to test the strain with a moisture meter, bracket beyond the standards, to see if it's wet. If it's wet, you'll want to be careful about any testing you do above. If it's dry, you'll want to keep an eye on it as you do your test and check it again with a moisture meter at the end of your test. Check floor drains and laundry tubs. As you operate plumbing fixtures, you'll want to keep an eye on any floor drains that are visible and any other fixtures at the lowest levels of the house. You may include laundry tubs, bathtubs, or shower stalls at the lowest level. Watch for backup of waste through the drains on these fixtures. Partially obstructed drains may not back up with one or two fixtures flowing, but may with several operating. That's what it says. Don't walk away. Another general rule of thumb on testing plumbing fixtures is not to leave them alone while they are flowing. While everyone has their own style and system, we're going to suggest a strategy and then mention a couple of alternatives. Test all fixtures. You're going to test every plumbing fixture in the house during the course of your inspection. However, we're going to ask you to concentrate on the bathroom that is highest in the house and or furthest from the point where the water comes into the house when testing for functional flow and drainage. This is going to be the most demanding test. Great. What are the goals? ? There are several things we are trying to determine with our functional flow and drainage test. These include: is there adequate pressure and flow at each fixture? Is there adequate pressure and flow at each fixture with more than one fixture flowing? Does the drainage system for each fixture carry waste away successfully? Is the drainage system capable of carrying the waste from more than one fixture simultaneously? Every time I start reading this shit, I start yawning. I do need to wake up early tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, so it is a day I need to wake up early. Once I'm done recording this, and I'm gonna let this, render and process, I'm gonna go do the dishes. Introduction. Why did I say introduction? It's on every slide. Fill fixtures and then pull the stopper to test proper drainage. Don't fill all fixtures and pull the plugs simultaneously. There could be a potential for backup. It is important to have your client... Yeah, I read that right. It is important to have your client as you test the plumbing performance. Test all the bathroom. Pay particular pressure to the bathroom at the highest level. That's what it says. It doesn't say pay attention. It says pay particular pressure. After running the plumbing, check areas around bathroom and drain pipes where there was suspicious strains or evidence of leakage. Fixtures and faucets. Basins, sinks, and laundry tubs. Kitchen sink with 3 sinks. This is enamel cast iron. Just a picture. Alright, a couple pictures here. Pedestal sink. These can be 1 or 2 piece units. Point out the overflow. This is a drop-in sink mounted on a vanity tub. Basin with under-counter installation. There is no rim on the sink, which is installed from under the counter. Another enamel cast iron with a single lever and vegetable sprayer. Damn, it's been a long time since I've seen a sink with a vegetable sprayer. I don't think those are really a thing anymore. Then again, I really just see the sink in my own house and my friend's house periodically. You know, I don't go into every house and notice if there's a vegetable sprayer. I don't know, a vegetable sprayer just sounds like something more common in, like, sinks of the 90s. Basins, sinks, and laundry tubs. Common problems: leaks, rust, surface defects, loose, overflow missing, cross connections, not level, slow drains. Alright, leaks can occur at the faucets, bowls, drain connections, trap, drain stoppers, or the overflow. Water damage is the primary concern. Rust. Look for failure at welded overflow connections. Chipped protective surface. Corrosive chemicals. Here's a diagram here. I felt that yawn coming quite a while. For quite a while. I felt that yawn really wanting to happen. It's like a sneeze. You feel a sneeze about to happen, but for me, just now it was a yawn. I could felt it wanting to happen. Rusting overflow. Rust starts to develop where the overflow is spot welded to the basin. The rust can spread and ultimately eat through the basin, bracket, or overflow, causing leakage. The spot weld areas are also where, bracket and why, enamel on the inside of the basin tends to chip. On never enameled steel basins, the overflow is siliconed onto the basin. With enamel steel sinks, spot welded areas are common to rusting. Look for patches at these areas. Newer ones are now silicone. Ugh. You can see the corrosion at the drain of this enamel steel sink. You can also see corrosion at the welded overflow connection. These normally rust out in about 10 years. Alright, surface defects. Look for cracks and chipped sections. Many cases may be cosmetic and not leaking. Long-term leakage could be a concern. Loose. Check supports at floors, walls, and countertops. Lift gently instead of putting weight on the edge. I suppose it's a good thing I'm yawning. It implies I'm tired, which means... well, probably not. Which means I can go to sleep early tonight because I need to wake up early tomorrow. Alright, drain in a concrete laundry tub. Note the fine cracks in the concrete near the drain. Concrete laundry tub. Alright, overflows, missing or inappropriate. Fixtures served for food preparation do not have overflows to prevent trapping of food particles. Double laundry tubs and double kitchen sinks use secondary sink as the overflow. Cross connections. Most common at laundry tubs or extendable faucets. If testing overflows, inspectors should be prepared for possible leakage. Not level. Most common on laundry tubs. Water pooling at the bottom and poor drainage. Slow drains. Common cause are pop-up drain, obstruction, undersized trap, improper drain slope, ineffective venting, or freezing pipes. Old cast iron laundry tub with lead drains. Lead drain usually leak and replacement with PVC is recommended. The next couple of slides are once again pictures. There's a picture here with a very obvious tied box. You know, it's cut off, but you can see the orange and the yellow. A concrete laundry tub. Thanks. Lead plumbing below the tub. Plastic laundry tubs are often loose and not level. Handles are often missing or damaged, and people always find creative ways to deal with this. Alright, case study number 2. Where was case study 1? Component: concrete laundry tub. Condition: faucets are below the flood rim. This is a cross-connection area. Implication, health issue. Recommendation, replace concrete tub with an inexpensive plastic one since it is not cost-effective to relocate the faucets in this case given the age of the tub and faucet assembly. Alright, now we move on to the next topic, I think. Faucets. Alright, so, faucet types. Compression. Older traditional faucet with threaded stem. Cartridge or ball type. Align holes in two different materials to allow water flow. These are washerless faucets which can contribute to warmer hammer. I really just said that. Contribute to water hammer. Missing valves. Single layer washer less faucets. Pressure balancing and thermostat mixers. Protect people from being frozen or scalded. Ball type faucets open and close quickly and can contribute to a water hammer. Types. There are hundreds of different types and styles of faucets. The older tradition faucet is what's known as a compression faucet. A threaded stem is turned to open or close the valve. At the end of the stem is a disc with a washer on it. When the valve is closed, the water is pressed against a seat to prevent water flow. Modern age faucets are typically cartridge or ball type. These faucets align holes in two different materials to allow water to flow and misalign the holes to stop the water flow. And then here's a diagram of a compression faucet. These open and close slowly, therefore less prone to water hammer. Alright, correcting water hammer. So the first sentence is the same thing, I think, but I'll read it again. Modern faucets are typically cartridge or ball type. These faucets align holes in two different materials to align water to flow and misalign the holes to stop the water flow. Alright, water hammer. These modern washerless faucets, as they are often called, can be fully opened and closed quickly. This is convenient for the user, but may make a plumbing system prone to water hammer. We talked earlier about water hammer. It is the result of quick closing of the valve and the impact of water with lots of momentum against a dead end, such as a closed valve. The older compression faucets had the advantage of being slower to close and were less likely to cause water hammer problems. Alright, common problems. Leaks or drips, stiff and inoperative, loose, cross connections, noisy, damaged, rusted, loose or missing handles, hot and cold reserved, obstructed aerator, shower diverter defective, installed on exterior walls. Leaks or drips, damaged O-rings on cartridge, leaks around the stem on compression types. It literally says O-rings, like the letter O hyphen rings. Out through the spout and connections to flexible hoses, bracket showers, or extendable faucets. Stiff or inoperative, excessive tightening or damage to body. Some leaks may not be easily detectable. Inspectors should around and under the fixtures while running the plumbing. That's a weird ways to phrase it. Alright, loose. Check faucets to be secured to the fixture, wall, or countertop. Noisy. If water hammer situation, provide anti-water hammer chambers or pipe risers. Pipe risers. Valves that whistle are defective and need replacement. Shower diverter inoperative or defective. Can be a problem with the diverter or water pressure. Damaged, rusted, loose or missing handles. Poor operability. Hot and cold reserved. North America Convention has cold water on the right and hot water on the left. Obstructed aerator. Typically to be blocked by minerals and foreign materials. Will result in poor water flow and pressure. We have another slide here with lots to read. Lots to read. But we're almost done. This is slide 35 of 41, so I'm almost done. Alright. Hose bibs. I don't think it's bibs, because it's spelled B-I-B-B-S. Because, yeah, bibs is already a word that exists. Wait, no, I was kind of thinking like the word Bible, how if you add another B, it would just be bibble. But bib, B-I-B, so with an extra B, would B-I-B-B be pronounced bibe? I don't know, I'm just gonna say bib. So, hose bibs. A hose bib pipe is filled with water right to the valve itself. In cold climates, stop and waste valves require an indoor shutoff valve with a bleed valve. Frost-proof faucets, water flow is shut off inside the house when the valve is closed. These systems must slope down towards the outdoors. Hose bibs are typically cross-connection areas. Backflow prevention devices are required in most areas. Most houses are provided with outdoor hose bibs, bracket faucets, to connect hoses for watering lawns, washing cars, etc. In some areas where these are called hydrants, wait, no, end of sentence. In some areas, these are called hydrants. The piping supply to the outside hose bib is usually metal where it passes through the wall, even if the hose has plastic supply piping. Function. The piping to the hose bib is connected directly to the cold water supply piping in most cases. The pipe is filled with water right up to the valve itself. When the valve is open, water will discharge at the same pressure as at any fixture in the house. As lengths of hose are added to the faucet, the water supply may be expected to deteriorate due to frictional pressure loss through the hose. Conventional hose bibs. Conventional hose bibs have a compression type. Hand-operated valve outdoors. In freezing climates, there is an outdoor shutoff valve as well. This is usually a stop and waste valve. This means that the valve shutoffs. This means that the valve shuts off the water to the outdoor faucet and has a drain fitting that allows water to be drained from the pipe between the shutoff and the outdoor faucet. If water is left in the pipe may split as water freezes, even though no more supply water can flow into the pipe. The damage is often not noticed until the following spring when when the stop and waste valve is reopened. Alright. Winterizing of hose bibs. Homeowners should be advised that when winterizing a conventional hose bib, the outdoor stop and waste valve should be closed. Then the waste should be opened. We also recommend leaving the outdoor faucet open as they... Oh, by the way, I think this is where it is. Look at this. Look at what happens in the game. Can I get an instant replay on that? It almost looks like when Link pulled out the weapon, it looks like he ducked and dodged the attack, doesn't it? Okay, anyways. Where was I? Whatever, let's just start over. I don't even... Just looking at the paragraph, I don't even know where I left off. Alright, winterizing of hose bibs. Homeowners should be advised that when winterizing a conventional hose bib, the outdoor stop and waste valve should be closed, then the waste should be opened. We also recommend leaving the outdoor faucet open so that any water can drain out of the end. The slope of the pipe going through the wall may prevent water draining out of the waste valve. An open waste valve inside and an open faucet outdoors assures that there will be no water left in the pipe. Okay, frost-proof faucets. Some outdoor hose bibs are frost-proof. This is just a long stem valve which goes through the wall to the building interior. When the valve is closed, the water flow is shut off inside the house. These systems need to slope down towards outdoors so that the water in the valve body drains out through the faucet when the valve is shut off. If the pipe slopes down towards the indoor side, water may remain in the valve body as it passes through the wall and freezes during cold weather. This usually ruins the valve, although no leakage may be noted until the valve is opened again. Alright, don't operate in winter. Many inspectors do not operate frost-proof hose bibs in the winter for fear of creating an ice patch outdoors. They are also sensitive to the possibility that the valve body may be split inside the wall and/or by operating the valve. And/or by operating the valve, they may create an accumulation of water in the valve body, where it passes through the wall and causes a freeze-up problem. Inspectors are torn between the desire to let their clients know about this problem and the risk of causing damage. Those of you who live in freezing climates will have to come to grips with this and make a decision as to whether or not you'll test these. We recommend that if you don't test them, you let your client know about this limitation. Possible cross connections. Since the 1980s, many authorities have recognized the possibility of cross connections with hose bibs. The hose bib is not the problem. However, when a hose is attached to the bib, the hose may be left in a bucket of dirty water, connected to a pesticide or fertilizer sprayer, or may be left in a roof gutter filled with dirty water. There are lots of other examples you can come up with. A problem would only arise if the water pressure in the house dropped, bracket because someone shut off the water to work on a plumbing fixture, for example, and the hose bib was left open. This is not an impossible combination by any stretch of the imagination. As a result, hose bibs in most areas are now required to have backflow prevention devices. Some frost-proof hose bibs are required to have integral backflow prevention. In many areas, the backflow prevention device is simply screwed on to an existing hose bib and secured with a set screw. This device is removable and may not be satisfactory in all jurisdictions. You want to check on this. Hold on, my friend just texted me. He went on a trip to Morocco, I think. Yeah, he said he just made it back to Canada. I'm texting him right now. You took an entire trip, and the shiny still hasn't happened yet. Just for context, for over the past month, I have been shiny hunting for a Charmander as my starter in Fire Red. You know, the Switch port. Shiny hunting full odds at its finest. Anyways. Alright, next slide. That was a long slide. That was all slide 35. Now, slide 36. Shut-off valves for outside faucets. And this is just a big labeling. There's just two things here that are labeled. Piping/faucets downstream of the shut-off valve should be sloped downwards for drainage. Outdoor faucet, bracket open in winter after the inside valve is shut off. Drain cap must be downstream of shut-off valve, bracket open in winter after closing shut-off. Frost-proof outdoor faucet. Since the valve of a frost-proof faucet is inside the house, it is not prone to freezing and no extra shut-off is required. The area right around the pipe should not be insulated. When winterizing outdoor faucets, first drain the outdoor faucet and then open the bleed valve. Alright, here's a picture. A standard hose bib. This one should be turned off inside for winter season. This is a frost-free bib. Wait. This is a frost-free hose bib. Okay, hose bibs. Some common conditions with hose bibs. Leaks or drips. Stiff or inoperative. No backflow prevention. Loose faucets. Pipes freeze slash... Wait. Pipes frozen slash split. Poor slope on frost-free bib. Mechanical damage. Atmospheric vacuum breaker. No backflow prevention. As we discussed earlier, in areas where hose bibs need to have some kind of backflow prevention device. Wait, I read that. I read that wrong. I read the sentence out properly, but I used the wrong tone. As we discussed earlier, in most areas, hose bibs need to have some kind of backflow prevention device. It can be integral or added to the hose bib. Causes. There will probably not be backflow prevention devices on hose bibs that existed before the 1980s. Different jurisdictions brought in the requirements for backflow prevention at different times, so it will be tough to know without checking the local authorities when you should expect to see backflow preventers. If no backflow prevention devices are noted on new systems, it's probably an installation error. Occasionally, these devices are removed by homeowners. Implications. The implication is a cross-connection as we discussed. Strategy. Look for a backflow prevention device on the end of the hose bib. If you can't see one, there may be an integral backflow prevention device built into the hose bib. Bracket, especially if it's frost-free. You should probably report the absence of a hose bib backflow prevention device. Geez, that's a mouthful. As a question rather than a conclusion, and recommend that it be checked the first time a plumber is at the house. And finally, slide 41. Pipe frozen or split. Severe water damage can be caused. Look for closed shut-off valves or leaks at the hose bib. Pour slope on frost-free hose bibs. Water will remain in the pipe and cause damage. Okay, there we go. That's it. We're still 21 minutes. So, how is everyone? Everyone out there doing good? Uh... Well, I got nothing else to talk about today. You know, nothing new in my life lately, really. Nothing new. Yeah, I really have nothing else to talk about. After I'm done recording this, I'm gonna do the dishes, like I said. And then, I don't know. You know what? I'll be right back. Enjoy the footage. Okay, I'm back. I wasn't gonna leave the entire time. I just went to see if I can snatch my sister's phone to play Pokemon Go and TCG Pocket. Nah, she was using it. It's fine. Yeah, I got nothing to talk about. My life boring. Nobody wants to hear about my life. How much more runtime is there? 15 minutes?! You know, nothing's stopping me from just, like, walking away and just leaving there being no commentary for 15 minutes. But, you know, I'm not gonna do that. You know, come to think of it, I hope I have enough time to get the shiny starter. Because Winds and Waves aren't coming out until a year from now. And with that time, I still need to shiny hunt 3 legendaries in Legends ZA. So hopefully by the time I'm done that, I'll have plenty of time left to hunt for, or, you know, to get the shiny starter. Oh yeah, you know what I should do, since right now I have time? Definitely not do my school assignments, you're crazy. I'm gonna look up what availability there are for seats for the theater. Because my friends and I, we were gonna go watch the Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah, we were gonna go watch the Mario Galaxy movie. A friend of mine, he said he said he now has Fridays off, so we were gonna go Friday. But then we were all like, "Can we go Tuesday instead? Because Tuesdays are cheaper." One of my friends, you know, the one who has Fridays off now, he wasn't sure if he could do Friday, so we were debating back and forth. Do we go on Friday or Tuesday? Do we pay extra just so our friend can join us, or do we say fuck him? We ditch our friend just to go watch on Tuesdays for cheaper. Well, he said, "Oh, never mind. Yes, I am able to go on Tuesday." If we went on Friday, it would have been like $15 a ticket for each of us. But on Tuesday, it's like $5 a ticket. So it's like a no-brainer there. But then my friend said, "Oh, never mind. If we're trying to do Tuesday, it looks like the prices are now $10. And I'm just like, you indecisive fuckers. But let me see if that's actually true. Let's see, if we do the 8 p.m. Screening. What the hell are they talking about? I still see it says $4.99. But question is, what the seats be looking like? It's taken up. The seating full as hell. Nice. You indecisive shits. Ah. Oh, I see what happened. 8 p.m. it was $4.99. If we do the 9:30 p.m. it's $8.99 a ticket. You douchebags. I knew I should have bought the tickets ahead of time. Okay, what about earlier? What about 7 p.m.? Nope, 7 p.m. $8.99 a ticket. Assholes. Hey, 6:30 is $4.99, but what the seating be like? It's full! Of course it's gonna be full. These douchebags. Indecisive fucks. Nine more minutes of runtime, eh? See, look, this is what happens when I don't go over my school material. I ain't got nothing to say. I still ain't opened my Switch 2 yet. You know, I had that whole ordeal about it being shipped and all, but it's like, well, that was about the price, you know, that was about actually getting it. Now that I have it, you know, nothing said I had to use it immediately. By the way, did I mention for the Switch 2 my plan to play on it? That sounds a little strange, but like, so my plan when playing the Switch 2 docked is I am exclusively going to use Switch 1 Joy-Cons Bluetoothed instead of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. Why? You know, hui would I do that? Well, let me just first say that Switch 1 Joy-Cons are now Canadian price, $109.99, so $110 as opposed to the $99.99 it used to be. So $110 instead of $100. How much are the Switch 2 Joy-Cons Canadian? 124. What? 120. Yeah, it is 24. $124.99. So $125. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but these Joy-Cons, they kind of break easily. I've torn through my fair share of Joy-Con controllers just because I've used them so much. So, like, of course I'm going to use a cheaper option. Now, when I'm playing in handheld mode on the go, I kind of have no choice but to play on the Switch 2 Joy-Cons in that case. Unless, every time I go out, I want to bring along with me a Joy-Con 1 grip, like a separate controller with my device, you know? Unless I want to do that every time. Yeah, I don't think I will. I'm not gonna lie, the more time that passes, the more I want to play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. At least compared to Mario Kart World. I want to play Sonic Racing more. And also, because I never picked it up, I want to try Sonic Frontiers. That is the game, right? I haven't played a Sonic game in quite a while. I love Sonic, I love the characters, I love the world, but I just haven't really played the games at all. I don't know, in a way the games never really interested me, because it's mostly just... It's kind of just, at least the way it looks to me, Sonic running, collecting rings. You know, it's like... To me, that doesn't seem very interesting. Anyways, so yeah, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. You can play as Joker, you can play as Miku, you can play as Mega Man, Pac-Man, Red, you know, Angry Birds. It's like, this is a pretty stacked roster for a game, I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, SpongeBob as well. I wonder, are there any other newly revealed characters I'm not aware of yet? No, I think the most recent character reveal was Mega Man. Wait, reveal? No, release. I don't even know anymore. Oh yeah, I forgot Minecraft was announced too. Yo, hear me out. This is just a crazy idea, but hear me out. What if one of the last... What if one of the last guest characters to be in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is Mario? Like, wouldn't that just be a great way to end off the game and the new characters? Mario. Wouldn't that just make sense? You know what's something I still wish to see? And I doubt we ever will? In Mario Kart, I would love to see Kirby as a playable character. We've had Link. We've had Inklings. You know. I know there's a ton of other Nintendo characters you could add into Mario Kart. Like, Samus now has her bike in Metroid Prime 4. Or Star Fox. Or Captain Falcon. But, like, I want Kirby. Because I'm a Kirby fan. I love Kirby. It's like, just integrate one of the machines from Kirby Air Riders into some sort of future Mario Kart game. I always wanted to see in a Mario Kart game Kirby racing around on the Warp Star. I think that'd be hot. Not hot. Why did I say hot? That would be heat. That would be fire. Yeah, that'd be hot. Whatever. I'm gonna leave that in. I'm not gonna edit that out. Yeah, that'd be totally hot. Well, we are finally almost done, so I'm gonna say thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. We are almost done with the school material, so yeah. Bear with it just a little longer. We're almost done. See you next time as I collect this last Korok. Okay, bye.